We have an understanding of how enraged we would be, and I would be, if my 14-year-old, this is a 9-year-old, but if my 14-year-old was raped or assaulted in this fashion.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lloyd Allen, sitting in for Mukesh Lupinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. We begin tonight with more on that heinous sexual assault of a 9-year-old girl on the weekend, still concerning for many. The incident prompting many individuals to once again call on government law enforcement officials and community leaders to levy stiffer penalties on the perpetrators. While the Bahamas Christian Council fully supports the move, they are also praying for spiritual intervention as a means to resolve this ongoing dilemma. Altavi's Munnings joins us live in studio with more on the Christian Council's press conference this afternoon. Altavis?
Good evening, Lloyd, and good evening, Bahamas. The clergymen of the Bahamas Christian Council literally counsel victims of every type of assault every day. It's what they do. And tonight, they're extremely outraged and saddened that a young 9-year-old girl is now the latest victim of sexual violence. These religious leaders lament that something must be wrong in our society, which seems to be moving away from the Christian principles the country was founded on.
We stand as an organization that represent the churches, that our doors are open to go out to those families, to provide the kind of counsel and nurture that is necessary from the Word of God for the wholeness to be restored to the young lady, to the wholeness to be restored to the family. And by extension, Pastor Mario will speak to it, that even the perpetrator, that we will ask the law to carry out the full extent of the law, but also we'll share the gospel to try help change his ways and what he has been perpetrating in our society.
Every single week we have these stories, and it's usually through messages that we deliver on a Sunday that people resonate with and come and speak to us and say, you know, when I was a certain age, this happened to me, and I've been carrying this all my life. For acts of violence against women that we see happen on a day-to-day basis. And so it's these type of things where the church has always stood in the gap to be there for victims and to lead them through these instances.
Christian Council executives agree with revising the Bail Act as they feel the country is doing an injustice to the vulnerable for allowing repeat offenders to commit crimes. The religious community is even partnering with organizations like Urban Renewal to assist in providing a sense of comfort and security for families everywhere.
To try to provide safe spaces in our communities for these kind of playtimes and things to happen in our church environment, in our parking lots where there is some sense of supervision taking place. And then too, we're going to go out more in our societies and do events that give parents the freedom to know that your child is with a girls' brigade, is with a boys' brigade, is with an RA, and it's with one of our youth programs doing something wholesome in collaboration with some of these entities. The church is by far the first responders. That most times when something like this happens in society, there'll be a police officer, be a nurse, be a doctor, but there will be a pastor. There'll be a trusted voice from the church that'll be there for the entire journey. So when others would have left and gone home, we'll be there calling on the family, we'll be there praying with the family, we'll be there checking on the family. And most people know this is what the church does well.
And the Christian Council has certainly gotten criticism from what the Court of Public Opinion brands as staying silent on issues of national interest. But President Apostle Delton Fernandez differs.
Every day you go in the community and you see good being done by the church, find a reporter and tell them the church did that. We are here when others are just criticizing on social media. Most people know they have a church and they have a pastor that cares about them.
Do we go to the press and talk about it all the time? No, we don't. And we don't need to, because we're not doing it for the spotlight. We're doing it because we love people. People are hurting. We hurt, we empathize with people when they go through their darkest hours, and we feel their pain.
Christian Council President Fernandez and First Vice President Bishop Mario Moxie insist that it's imperative the country understands the role of the church and how their messages transform lives. Reporting in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altavi's Munnings. Back to you, Lloyd.
Well, thanks a lot, Altavi's.